Welcome back, my fellow dabbers. We are closing out the year with probably one of the videos that I've been avoiding the most, really because I'm nervous. And because of this, my Puffco V1 is an absolute mess. It's dirty, it's gross. So I've been rocking my OG Peak with the dry top and Simrel's adjustable joystick thing, which has been a lot of fun to mess around with. And of course, always my Tough Tethers. It's time. It's time to finally do this video. The deep cleaning of the Puffco V1. Merry Christmas to me and happy holidays to all my viewers. Let's give the gift to ourselves and start the new year off with a clean Puffco device. Once I get through this one, I'll probably end up doing a follow-up video with the V2. There are some slight differences with the outer casing, but I wanted to start here for two reasons. One, because I think a lot of us still have the Puffco V1 and they're probably gross by now. This is the time to do this. Number two, I think I'll be a lot less sad if I mess this up, because I've never done this before. I have watched a couple other YouTube videos about the process and done some research about what I'm getting into, so I know it's not impossible, but I'm not gonna follow a guide step by step. I'm kind of gonna go into this like if I was you or I was me just at home trying to do this. How easy is it if all you've done is read a couple Reddit posts and wanted it clean? Let's dive in, and once I'm done, I'm gonna actually go down to a 3D chamber. I'll talk a little bit about this after I'm all done. For now, let's go ahead and crack into the deep clean of the Puffco V1. What are you gonna need for this? I think you're gonna need like a little pry bar situation and a small screwdriver. I grabbed just a cell phone repair kit off of Amazon that has a whole bunch of little pry bars and screwdriver things. We're just gonna get some simple tools out and ready. Maybe a little magnet thing for the screws. One of these guitar pick looking things to get under the casing. Just for note, these pry bars that I'm gonna use are made of plastic. You're gonna wanna use something like this so you don't damage the outside casing. The other really big thing before we get started is this place right here. I'm gonna stress a lot that be gentle around here. Out of all the stuff that I've read and all the people that I've talked to that have done this, they say that this part is what breaks the most. So just be very careful with the charging port once you get down to that point. For starters, what I like to do before I remove the glass or atomizer or anything like that, I'm gonna go ahead and give it the good old double tap once you get the chamber seated. And this is part of the reason why I think this needs cleaning, is parts of it are just having trouble. Once you let it warm up just a little bit, get all the parts warmed up, let everything get warm from cold. Once it does the double vibrate, I just push and hold to go ahead and turn it off. And once I've done that, now I feel like this is warm enough to go ahead and twist the atomizer off and go ahead and pop the glass out. The glass, super dirty. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this and I'm just gonna do my regular routine of throwing this into some heady eddies. I'm not really gonna show that part on camera because you can do that or use some ISO, but basically I would use this time to soak the glass while you're working. That way, when you're done working on the body part, your glass is ready to go. At this time, I would take all the things out of the atomizer now that this is all warmed up, and I would get this soaking in some ISO as well. That way it will also be ready once you clean the body. So now that you've got that all deconstructed and you're down to just the base part, the first step of what I would do just to make sure the electronics are off is I'm gonna push and hold the button till it vibrates and flashes white, and that will lock and deactivate the button, which is what we want, because as we're working, we don't want to accidentally fire this thing or turn it on. I'm just gonna give you a little preview of how gross this thing can be. It's real gross, especially in areas like under this little ledge here is real gross. And look it down in the chamber. I have unfortunately let this thing go a little bit in order to do this video. I am really on top of cleaning my stuff, but here we are. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna start to slowly pry up this metal casing here and just slowly kind of work your way around, trying not to hurt the silicone or anything like that. And just kind of work it all the way around with the pry bar to release all of this from, oh wow, that is gross. you can see just like the tip of my tool getting disgusting. Hold on, let's grab one of our trusted terp wipes, just open it up a little bit and use this as kind of like a little cleaning thing as we go around. And just really, and slow and steady is going to win the race on this one. This is not, you don't want to just try and force this up. There is glue under there, and hopefully it's old enough at this point where it's going to be kind of brittle. And we're just going to want to try and separate the body. Yeah, see, now that I've already made my first pass, it looks like it's prying up a little better. And we just want to pry this part up and away from the charging port. And you can already see the body starting to split a little bit. And I'm just going to work this charging port zone because that's what I'm most nervous about there. And we're just going to come up and around. Really get all this loosened up. Look at how gross. Yuck, yuck, yuck. And this is why I have a love-hate with Puffco, because they're great devices, but you know, at the end of the day, it is an overseas manufactured electronic device with a lot of nooks and crannies that a lot of us don't really spend the time to clean, to be honest. Now that we've gotten the edge loosened up, I'm going to see maybe if I can do some more work with something like this and really get any glue that's in there kind of undone, and just run this kind of around the edge. And again, I'm trying not to damage the silicone or anything, but see, now you can see it's really starting to separate off of the body. See if we can get this on this side. So now that we've gotten that loosened up, I've gotten a longer plastic tool to try and get underneath here. And now we are going to try and get this up and over the charging port. See maybe if there's more glue or something in there holding it down. Oh yeah, there we go. I heard a little pop or something in there that sounded like some glue releasing. Oh yeah, I can see I worked it kind of over the charging port, and that's what's holding it up right here, is it's actually clipped on there. I also don't want to bend the metal casing too much, because then it won't fit properly once I'm trying to get it back on. Yeah, separating this charging port is really the hard part here. It does not want to come off. Now that we've loosened it up and we've done our paths around to kind of get all these side glue loosened up, you're going to come over to the charging port with a wedge, and you are going to just try and wedge this charging port area up and over there it is. So it does take a good amount of force. Ooh, looks like I might have just snapped the USB port. Frick. Either way, we'll get back to that part at the end. That's the part I was trying to avoid. But, oh my goodness. How disgusting. How disgusting. That is so gross. Wow. I just almost can't believe it. Okay, let's not stop and get hung up on that. And next up is to remove all of this silicone which I think you just kind of peel up and around out of the base. And you can see little spots of glue there, so I'll have to figure that part out. Get all this off. And again, just go slow because you don't want to rip any of this stuff. All right, now I've got it up and over the charging port. Oh, it looks like I got really lucky. All right, guys, we are winning. It looks like that little plastic piece that usually gets snapped, I got really lucky and it did not snap and just clipped out a little bit. So I pushed down just to reseat that USB plug. Holy cannoli. What a lucky day. Now to get this silicone off without really messing anything up. So we're gonna just take the silicone and we are just gonna kind of roll it inside of itself up and over some of these components like this Puffco thing. Try not to rip that white paper off and just fold it over and unroll the whole thing up and over. Ooh. And really kind of try and work it out without messing anything up. Oh my God, this is so gross. Why have I never done that? I mean, I don't know. Like, half of me is like, do I ever use a Puffco again? This is just like, no wonder this shit makes me cough. Dude, like, okay, so I've been talking about this Puffco cough that I get when I use a Puffco a lot. I think this is why. I think we've just discovered why this can give you such a gnarly cough. This is gross. And I'm not really sure what to do, but okay. I'm not gonna get hung up on this. We're gonna keep going because the purpose of this video is just cleaning, not crying about Puffco being gross. So that's it. Now we're just gonna clean this off. And I guess before I get started too far on that, I guess I'm gonna throw this in some ISO. I don't really know what to do with this, really. I guess ISO is gonna be the thing. Yeah. Now we got some ISO. I guess we're just gonna fill this up. Let this soak. I know some people try baking it or other things. I guess throw the atomizer in there for a good measure. Now we're just gonna go back to cleaning this. How deep do I want to go with this? Because there is reclaim down in this plastic bit. Like, do I want to try and take all this apart? I see they have this to see if you've voided the warranty. So maybe we won't go that far. Well, the warranty's already up, ain't it? It looks like there's a Phillips and a security screw, couple security screws, couple Phillips, so half and half-ish. So we grabbed our security screw. It's going to be a T6H security screw. Go ahead, unscrew this one, which is back. They sit this other security screw really far in there, so I'm not actually sure. Yeah, they really set that security key in there really far, so we'll have to see if I can just get it out like that. Get the two security keys out. Is that enough to crack this open? Yeah, this void warranty sticker is going to be exactly what that is. We're doing it. Void. Puffco voided. We're just going to slowly pry this apart, maybe. Okay. Maybe the bottom has to come off before I can pry those apart. Don't really want to take the bottom off because I don't have glue to put this silicone back on. Is that really what needs to happen though? I don't know. Yeah, it does look like that's what needs to happen. So we're gonna backtrack a little bit. Looks like we're not gonna pull it apart this time, even though I just pulled the void sticker off, because I don't have the glue to put the, because I don't have the glue to put the silicone on. So we're gonna just hold off on that part and do the best we can with this. But now I know, and hopefully with the V2 it's somewhat similar, so I can be a little more prepared. So we're just gonna take the terp wipe and continue to terp wipe it down. Yeah, this is gross. Let that terp wipe sit there for a second. Get another terp wipe, and even like here I see reclaim on the sides and front, which is crazy. Like, how does it even get down there? And we're just gonna clean around the buttons because we're in here and I do see dirt around them. See the best we can do to kind of get in these little nooks. Maybe use a little tool here. Yeah, the big one I want to do is I want to get in this little crack here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it is crazy the amount of reclaim around this. Wild. And then it's like we wonder why there's so many atomizer problems or white-red issues. It's like, why has Puffco also not fixed this? That is the craziest part to me. What are we doing, Puffco? Come on, man. Fucking $300, $400 device, and it just, I don't feel like this should be happening at all. Why did we not design how to stop this? It's crazy. This is gross. All up in there. And this can't all be from like user error of hitting it too hard or overfilling it. Like, this has got to be partly design for sure. This stuff is so caked on there. Holy cannoli. Get some of my trusty glob mops. Glob mops are always the Q-tips that I tend to choose. They work the best, most absorbent. Yeah, this is just crazy. And I haven't even gotten to the top part yet. Man, we might just have to 2x the rest of this for you guys. All right, so I'm gonna go to town with a Q-tip and some ISO, and we're just gonna 2x this for you, and hopefully it won't take forever. But Jesus, this thing is fucking dirty. Wow. All right, well, with a lot of work and some terp wipes, and then I use this stick that come with the terp wipes to really get underneath all of the atomizer. And what I realized is that the reclaim kind of travels down the path of the screws down into the base. So it's like when you overflow, it's just gonna get under there no matter what you do. It's kind of inevitable. All right, well, now let's, we're gonna 2x and do the lid part. And I think I'm just gonna keep using terp wipes because that seems to be the best kind of method here. So here we go. Okie dokie. Well, there is the metal part now. You'll still see some yellow in here. This is actually just the glue. So it is factual that they do use glue under there to hold this metal part on. But I think I've gotten this as clean as I'm gonna get it. Maybe one little last touch inside of the Puffco holes there. Just really detail it out. Get these nice and clean. I think this Puffco is gonna look brand new when I'm done with it. Yeah, okay. Well, I think that's a pretty good job on the base and everything. And hopefully it still works. Next up, let's see what happened with the silicone. Let's get a little cleaned up here. Clean workspace is a happy workspace. Let's get some paper towels. Let's see where we're at here. Well, looks like a little bit better. Not like crazy. Maybe it needs some wiping and scrubbing to really get this stuff off. Looks like it's pretty in the silicone at this point. But at least all the other gross stuff came off, so let's go ahead and just give this a dry. Huh, that's funny, you can actually see where the glue kind of holds on to the outside. Maybe it hurt the silicone a little bit. Oh well, dangers of doing stuff like this. It's not really meant to be taken apart, but I am so happy I did. Even if it doesn't go back to 100%, this is 1,000%, 4,000% worth every little drop of everything that I've done. And I'm going to use my little trusty air blower here to try and dry out the silicone some. Geez, I guess I should have done some before and after pictures, but I can already tell this is looking way cleaner. I mean, even just inside this part, like, wow. So there is some yellowing to the silicone, but you know, I guess that's to be expected. I'm sure if I wanted to bake it out or something, I could, but maybe that'll just be the next step of video here. Let's go ahead and throw this on and get everything reassembled, and hopefully it won't be as hard as getting it off. We're going to try and just get this front part all squeezed on over that. And just slow and steady wins the race. See if we can get this part seated. Really just work everything down back to where it should go. Get this all lined up and squished back in to where it should go. And it looks like it's all coming back together very nicely. Just kind of get this all sorted up in here. And again, it's not going to go back exactly 100% the same because you're not gluing it down or doing any of that stuff. But that's fine. It should be good enough for what we need it to do. We want to get everything back just the way it was, or at least as close to just the way it was as we can get it. Once you've massaged all that silicone around, we're going to just put this on the opposite way that we took it off, which is we're going to start from the front side and try and get this all seated down and over all the buttons. And we're just going to get this to seat all the way down. And as you seat it, it's going to try and push the silicone down back even more. And again, just really take your time with this. Then once you get it mostly on, I think we need to work this top part up. So this comes up and over to get that seated down. And then really you just want to push all this back together. Try not to break that plastic USB-C charging port. That's really what kind of holds it in place. You want to just kind of work it all down. And we're really getting close. And just like that, and just kind of slowly squeezing it and getting it all back into place. and getting everything kind of squished back into the grooves that it goes in. Okay, so now that I've got everything seated back, I'll probably spend a little more time just trying to make sure it seats even better, because I still have a little bit of a gap near the USB-C port. I think we're close enough to make sure that we're ready to go. So let's go ahead, get a glass on there, which fits great, and let's make sure that it still charges. When I tried to put it on the charger, it looks like the rubber was still getting in the way. So what I figured out is you kind of need to push up and then pull down and then push up to get that silicone to seat in the right way. It just needs to slot in to there better. And then I think this should sit a little better too. Great. Boom, so it charges via the base still. And let's go ahead and get a cable. And it still charges via the cable as well. Okay, great. So we are winning. The next test is just to get an atomizer. Got this brand new 3D chamber. And why am I going back to the 3D chamber? Well, I think the 3D XL has made some problems for the Puffco, and the battery and the way this was really designed wasn't meant to handle the XL. So I've seen a lot of atomizer problems and a lot of battery problems popping up with the Pro when using the XL atomizer. So I've decided to go back to the regular 3D, and this is good enough for what I want out of the Puffco for now. So let's go ahead, turn it on, fire it right up, and then let's go ahead, grab a cap. I'm going to be using this adjustable cap by Simrel. It's got adjustable air holes, so when I use my dry rigs, I can really dial up the restriction so I can get really nice hits off the dry rig. And today we're going to throw some fresh squeeze into the Puffco. We'll get a nice celebratory size dab in there. We're going to go ahead and do the double click to get it started. I actually have no idea what temp or vapor setting this is, so we're just going to go with it. And now that it's all warmed up, I'm going to go ahead and get my dab in there. And Merry Christmas. Heck yeah. Some delicious banana terps, and honestly, the Puffco cough is gone, so I really think that all of that reclaim was jacking me up, and I'm really happy to have a clean Puffco and really happy to just have my setup back. 10 out of 10. Puffco V1 Deep Clean. I'd say worth it. I'd say easy enough for you to do at home with minimal tools. Let's go ahead and take another rip. Delicious. And that's it for the holidays. And as always, thanks for watching, and stay lifted. Psst, come hang out with us on Discord. Keep an eye out for some Moo-chendise coming to an internet near you.